How often do guys who own businesses become the people that everyone relies on?
Yeah.
Almost always. So it doesn't matter if you're checking into a hotel and you want to get into the room early, or they don't have you rent a car. It doesn't really matter what it is. It always seems to fall back on the guy
Yeah.
who looks after his pack
Yeah.
to be able to do that. Tommy, talk to me about sales. Obviously, we've both had a different journey with that.
Mm-hmm.
What we have in common is neither of us were particularly good at it initially, and it very much was a trained skill. So what do you think the importance of sales is, both personally, professionally?
Let me give a context on that, because I want to throw you back one. In terms of our CEO blueprint, right? Like, people know sales in business as getting a yes, and you need to be able to do that. Now, I think that, like, if you look at the business term closing, like, that's putting pressure on someone to do something that they probably didn't want to do. I close someone, like, congratulations. You close someone, they probably didn't feel like doing it. How are they going to feel tomorrow? So we're very much now in, like, a world where, about creating a marketing engine where people want to buy, and then you help them do that because you've got a systemized process, right? So sales is a great word in business, because without sales, you haven't got money, and without money, you can't bring the business's vision to life and make the impact and the change in terms of what you're doing. So whether that's changing someone's physique, looking at what we do, changing their business and life, whatever it is, whatever the listeners that do, without sales, that doesn't exist. In your personal life, if you look at it, you've got to be good at sales too, because sales, negotiating a house and buying it off market. I bought my last 2 houses off market. I know you did a hell of a deal for the house that you bought off market. Whether it's negotiating with a hotel or an airline, a hospital bed for my sister when she was in a cancer ward.
Communication, really.
Communication in general is sales. So it's really, you look at the Mantastic skill of sales, it's like, okay, in business, you need to be able to get the result that you want. You need to be able to get the sale, but it's not a sale, it's a changed life. It's for the impact that you want. And then having that skill set in person, like in your personal life, it just makes you a way better Mantastic guy, because you know how to lead, you know how to get the outcomes that you want, and you become someone that people can depend on, someone that people can respect, someone who says things the way that he wants to say them. I look at a lot of people we've worked with over the years, and they know what they want to say. They just don't know how they're meant to say that.
How often do guys who own businesses become the people that everyone relies on?
Yeah.
Almost always. So it doesn't matter if you're checking into a hotel and you want to get into the room early, or they don't have you rent a car that was initially organized and you need to find a new one. It doesn't really matter what it is. It always seems to fall back on the guy who looks after his pack to be able to do that. And really, is there anything more important than sales and communication?
No, there's not. Like, sales and communication, you look at it from a parent's point of view, right? And it's like, sometimes you see your parents and they're just getting old. They're letting themselves get old, or they don't want to do the caravan trip or buy the caravan or do the thing. And it's like, guys, you should be doing that. Go live your life. Like,
they want to be led.
Yeah, they want to be led. You look at a partner, especially, like, what partner doesn't want someone in their life that's got stuff taken care of? There's no drama. There's no ups and downs. We're both big on no drama, no arguments, being emotionally stable, but someone who can take care of shit. From a business point of view, without just the actual sale of the transaction of business, you've got to lead a team, you've got to lead your clients, you've got to have the ability to lead yourself. There's so much you've got to negotiate. So it's really having that skill. And then from, like, an overall Mantastic point of view, sales isn't being, I would describe myself as being an extroverted introvert. I know how to talk when I need to, but I don't need to be the life of the party. I'm happy to sit back. I don't need to be, the person who's everyone's eyes is on. Yeah, if you ask me if I need to do a speech, I need to make an announcement, I need to say something, I'll say it so it makes an impact. So to me, sales is really like being a weapon communicator in your own unique way, finding your way to be able to do it.
Nature or nurture?
Ooh, I think it's about finding your way. So I think that there's people who have nature and they're natural.
Which was probably more me.
Yeah.
Just not very good at it initially. Where it wasn't really you, was it?
Well, man, I was way more of a robot, like way more analytical. I had to find my way with communication. Definitely nurture. And I think leaning into that, understanding the principles that drive communication, but then how to do them in a way that's in line with your man brand and who you truly are.
For sure.
And I think that also applies to nature as well, because some people think that, sales is slick, 80s, the haircut, the pinstripe suits, like you've just got every word, which for some people, I guess it is. But there's also that part of like, as you get older and you think about what brand you want to build, it's doing stuff in a way that represents who you are, and knowing you got the skill to be able to do it as well.
I think about my companies, our company. Really, our goal with sales is people get to a point where they just can't wait to buy it by the end,
Yeah.
right? It's not so much how can I get this person manipulated to be able to purchase what I'm selling. It's how can I explain what we do, how it will benefit, if it will benefit.
Yeah.
And by that stage, they want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I look at our stuff, right? Companies we've worked with, our own companies. At the end of a sales process, it's legitimately the best next step for someone to get started. Now, I believe in Mantastic at the core, like that it will make a change and it will make a massive difference. But if I don't believe that, I know you're the same because you do this part of our business. You recommend someone to the best next step if it's not us. So it's like, if you have that mentality that it's a conversation, and if at the end of that conversation, it's the right thing for someone to do because it will genuinely work, great. But if it's not the right thing, also great, because you can find them their thing. I think that makes a big difference in, tone, body language, the way you approach stuff.